Steve, you may have foreshadowed there a little bit. He only has 77 career wins. Were you giving him this one already?
I figured after he won 77, I was going to round it up. But on his final lap, this would be for 78.
Down the back stretch for the final time. It has been 24 races since Jimmie Johnson, a 6-time champion, a 7-time winner at this racetrack, has been to victory lane as he comes out of 4. Jimmie Johnson wins at Charlotte.
Hell yeah! Great job, Jimmie Johnson. Great job, man. Very, very proud of you today. Yeah, boys, we're back.
And I'm sure the competition doesn't want to hear that. Jimmie Johnson. White flag in the air. One more time around for Jimmie Johnson. What an incredible race the 48 team and Jimmie Johnson have run. After having a long pit stop and going all the way to the back of the field, he's battled back. He's out front. He has punched his ticket to Homestead. Jimmie Johnson wins in Martinsville.
Yes, yes! Thank you, boys. Thank you.
79 career wins for Jimmie Johnson. And more importantly, one step closer to the elusive 7 championships.
I am so proud of you. I am so proud of you. Great job. Great job, Jimmie. Great job, team. Team effort today. Earl, awesome up there. Everybody. Burn it out, brother. Light that candle.
The team is going to celebrate. He's going to burn it down. Jimmie Johnson celebrating at Martinsville Speedway. Coming back into the restart zone. Great restarts by both the 48 and the 22. Kyle Larson drops back to second, but he fights back on the outside. Here comes the 4. Kevin Harvick racing that 22 hard.
Come on, baby. Come on.
Jimmie Johnson out front. They've passed the overtime line.
You know, half a lane higher.
Larson looking to the high side. This time by.
Perfect lap.
White flag in the air. One more time around from Miami. Jimmie Johnson has never won at Homestead Miami Speedway, but he's never been in a position where he's had to win for a championship. Down the backstretch he goes. A half a lap away from the championship. Jimmie Johnson through 3 and 4. Make room. Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt. There's another 7-time champ. Jimmie Johnson wins his 7th NASCAR Sprint Cup championship.
You are looking at 7-time champion, Sprint NASCAR champion, Jimmie Johnson. I don't even know what to say. Jimmie Johnson, man, I am so proud of you. So proud of you. You're a good man. You're a great champion. Now you're a 7-time champion, brother.
It's the sum of all the parts. It's the pit crew. It's the driver. It's the crew chief.
Here comes Jimmie
it's
Johnson.
The spotter, and we got to change the lead right here.
Johnson to the lead with 16 to go. White flag coming to 1 to go. Sponsored by Credit One Bank. Larson is 0.8 of a second back. Closing. He was a 10th faster than Johnson that last lap, but he's going to run out of time. Jimmie Johnson last in victory lane at Homestead. Jimmie Johnson low as Hendrick Motorsports and Chevrolet win in Texas. They beat Kyle Larson by 0.4 of a second.
Jimmie Johnson has just pulled into victory lane, and you know, so much has been written and said about him having just one top 10 coming in to the race today. Brought out some critics and doubters, but Texas is his tonic. Jimmie Johnson lassos his 7th win at Texas Motor Speedway. You know, they say everything's bigger in Texas. Jimmie, how big was this one?
I guess I remembered how to drive, and I guess this team remembered how to do it. Just real proud of this team. What a tough track and tough conditions. Really in our wheelhouse, and we're just able to execute all day. Have to thank everybody at Lowe's, Chevy, Valvoline, Gatorade, the fans, our title sponsor. It's hot in there. I got cooked in the car today. We didn't have any fluids, so not feeling the best, but we got it to victory lane. So proud of the fight in this race team. I can't wait to celebrate this off weekend with my family and friends and really enjoy this.
You know, all I can think about right now is the mistakes that have happened on pit road, between speeding on pit road, how it's cost 2 individuals a shot at maybe a win.
And the white flag waves. 1 lap to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank. Jimmie Johnson to the high side. He's going to come off turn 4 and win his 82nd Cup victory. Back-to-back again for Jimmie Johnson. Boyer second, Harvick third, Kenseth and Logano the top 5.
Took 7 years for his 2nd Bristol win, but Jimmie Johnson takes another one in Thunder Valley. It seemed like you were the guy on that final run that found the bottom first and best.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting because when the 42 was there, it just created an environment to run the top, and I wasn't as good on the top. With the 42 not being up there in that first couple cars, you know, the bottom was really where it was at for the short run, and this Lowe's Chevrolet was flying. So happy to give everybody at A.O. Smith a good ride on the quarter panel this weekend. But we wouldn't be here without a ton of support from Valvoline, Gatorade, the fans, Lowe's, Chevrolet. This track's been difficult over the years, and we really hit on something Saturday afternoon in that last practice session to run the bottom. And it's honestly, it's what I've been looking for here for 16 years, and we finally figured it out. So I'm very, very happy, and I just want to give a shout out to Shani, Evie, and Lydia at home. I wish you girls were with me. I can't wait to see you soon.
Larson did not get the start that he wanted. He's going to have to work hard to get the outside of Jimmie Johnson here. Oh,
McMurray 3 wide.
Wow, he's sideways. Oh,
No,
Big crash. Ben straight away.
Crashed.
That'll be it.
Big wreck going into 3. I mean, look at him. They're wrecking everywhere.
I think they made it to the overtime line.
Now NASCAR will have to look at video to determine whether the leader was at the overtime line or not before the caution.
So many good cars. We're having great days here, all wadded up in the 3rd turn.
And Jimmie Johnson will tie Cale Yarborough on Stock Car Racing's all-time win list. Johnson wins his 11th at Dover.
He's got a lot of fans here in Dover because they're all cheering for that.
And the rule is if the leader gets to the overtime line, which is right at the R in Dover, on the back straightaway, directly opposite start finish there, he's past there, and we're still green. That's the race. The next flag, yellow or checker, ends the race.
Yeah, and that wreck was happening, but the caution really didn't come out until they were in turn 3. Watch Ty Dillon. He gets loose, then a little bit of contact between he and his teammate Ryan Newman.
Hard contact, 77 and a 13 there.
And then it's on.
Yep, then he gets into the one. Is that McMurray down there?
Allmendinger, Payne. Bam. Jimmie Johnson.
Where is he?
He's in that big haze. Jimmie taking the checkered flag is today's Sunoco fueling victory.
And out in victory lane for the celebration, Rick Hendrick there, and Jimmie Johnson conquers Delaware once again.
Growing up, his hero was Cale Yarborough. He loved the Hardee's 28 paint scheme. He even went to a Hardee's one time hoping to see the car in person. He started the day wearing a special helmet, with Cale on it. Jimmie, not very often an athlete grows up trying to chase his childhood hero. Today, you matched Hall of Famer Cale Yarborough. How impactful for you the feeling of this win?
Yeah, that's such a great way to say it. I mean, I never thought I would end up here in NASCAR as a kid racing in the dirt out in Southern California. And you know, I was a big Cale Yarborough fan, and I remember going to a race in Oklahoma with my parents and my brother. We're driving across the country, and we pull up to a Hardee's. I had no idea it was a burger stand, and I really thought when I walked in the doors I was going to Cale Yarborough's race shop. It was so, very disappointed, had a burger and left, and then understood the world of sponsorship. So to be here to tie him at 83 wins, we just got the tribute helmet. I wasn't sure how quickly we'd be, or if we'd be able to go there and get it done. But Cale, you're the man. Thank you for all you've done for our sport. And then to be a part of one team, one sponsor, Lowe's, Chevrolet, Valvoline, Gatorade, support of the fans. This is an amazing day. And I do have one artifact that we found from my friend Lauren Rainier, one of Cale's old hats.
So many parallels between Jimmie and Cale. Humble beginnings, championship winning drivers.
That's working really well.
Oh, Jimmie gonna take,
no, Jimmie!
Contact.
And around goes Menard into the wall. Taking cars with him.
Come on, high, clear, 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 all clear.
Big wreck.
You got it.
Well, I'm just wondering, did that suck the back end of the car around on Menard, or did they make contact that turned him around?
When the 48 gets on your bumper like that, it probably had something to do with it.
4 cars were out in front of that melee.
My.
Back from him.
Thanks, Paul.
There is your winner of the Clash of 2019. Due to the heavy rain, the race has been called. It's official. Jimmie Johnson is your winner.
You know, a year ago, somebody got in the rear bumper of him on that final
last
back
lap.
straightaway, last lap, turned him around, and this year he's on the other end of it.
It's the first time in the last 8 clashes that Johnson is running at the finish, all the way to victory lane.
Yeah, I mean, you hate to see what happened to Paul Menard, and certainly Jimmie felt like he had a move, and it was time. We saw the rink. I mean, I'm sure the teams were telling him rain was coming. You make an aggressive move, and you know, these we saw it last year in the Daytona 500. You know, the same thing happened to the guy leading the race in the 500 last year.
Here's what happened in the back straightaway. Jimmie Johnson gets into Paul Menard, who goes around, collects most of the field, and Johnson wins the Clash.
Come on, high, clear, 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 all clear.
Walking into victory lane isn't exactly what Jimmie Johnson had in mind when he was hoping to win the Clash today, but victory lane is victory lane. Congratulations. You won the Clash. How's it feel to be back in victory lane?
It feels good. Don't let this race car run you over on its way in. Just really happy about, you know, obviously a great day for Hendrick Motorsports, for Chevrolet, for Ally coming on board and qualifying third for the Daytona 500, and then to win the Clash. Kevin Mendering leading this team. You know, there's been a lot of new things going on. I'm extremely excited to win. I want to say hello to my family back home, especially to Lydia. She's been wanting Daddy to win pretty bad, so it's not a points race, but it's a good start.
There's so much talk about the split between you and Chad. The irony of Chad winning the pole with William Byron today and you winning the race with your new crew chief, Kevin Mendering. I think the two of you might be okay, you know, without one another.
Yeah, you're right. I hadn't thought about that exactly, but I did mention to Chad that he was able to win me my first pole here for the 500 and did the same for William. Really happy for those guys. But this group of Ally team members I have behind me, these guys have been working so hard, and we're off to a great start this year.
Congratulations. Jimmie Johnson back in victory lane. He's won the Clash at Daytona.